Alright, let's do this.
Okay. Good morning.
Hi. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Dear Becky and Lizzie, we have no questions and we just got back from vacay
It's
edition.
not, I feel like we're not going to do a Dear Becky and Lizzie today because it's our first day of the week. It's Thursday, so it should be Dear Becky and Lizzie. But
Adventures
it's
of Liz and Rebecca.
It's going to be a check-in day.
Yes.
And I had this on, but then I couldn't find the cord for my external hard drive, so I took it off. So try putting it back on. But it's getting into almost summer, so something like this is going to be too hot pretty soon. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in downtown Brevard. Nasty, rainy, we'll see what happens with the weather, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
And I feel like the camera's weird today. But I'm gonna just, like, it's level, but my brain is telling me it's not level, and I'm just, wait, we took some time off, did you notice? We took a couple days off after the yarn crawl, and so I'm trying to get back in the swing of things, and apparently, hopefully, didn't lose, but just, like, left some things at home, like the cord to my external hard drive I was just mentioning, which is where all of our videos are stored, so the beginning and end of this might look weird. I'm probably going to take photos of this again and, like, rebuild some things. So it might take a little while for the video to come out today.
I've got lots of things to keep me occupied.
Well, yes, it's true. And not just what you're working on right now.
No.
So we got a lot of orders in over the weekend. Thank you very much. Mostly on our Mother's Day sale. So thank you very much. We will get them out as quickly as we can. Which I don't know if that's going to be today or not. We'll see. Because we had, 18 orders?
Mm-hmm.
Like, over the time that we were gone. Mostly Sunday, but a few the other days we were gone. Because we had a not quite as high sale the other days, too.
Yep. There's a few for shop pickup, and I know that it'll be late by the time this gets up. But if you place an order for shop pickup and you show up first thing,
you may have to wait.
After a sale, it might not be packed up.
It might not be ready yet. But we'll
keep
try
that for future.
Or you can wait while we pack it for you. Because, we have lots of things we need to do today. Like, I want to get some of the crawl stuff up online if I can. That might take me a few days. But I couldn't get anything photographed before we went on break. So it wasn't part of the big sale. But I feel like there's so many things I could talk about today, and we'll see what we get to. But I brought in a prop because I want to tell a story about a hornet I dealt with, but I'm waiting till the end of the episode.
Okay.
I'm not going to start with that. I brought a prop. And I think it's off. Yeah, it's off. Okay, good. Otherwise, it'd be making noise and starting fires right now. So, yeah, anyway, so we had 4 days off. 2 of them were regularly scheduled, Sunday and Monday. And then we took Tuesday and Wednesday as well. And I don't know how you're feeling, but I am, rested and not at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was more the fact that after 4 days, my alarm went off this morning. And it was like...
I felt like I was trying to warn you about that. Like, the whole sleeping in thing.
I know.
Like, it'll backfire on you.
Yes, but I can sleep in at the drop of a hat, so
That's
it's
true.
not.
I can't.
It's not like with you or other people that are like, poof, my eyes open up at the same time every morning.
No. There's no poofing about it.
Well,
okay.
For someone who sleeps in, if you wake up early, it's poof, your eyes open.
My internal clock is like, you're supposed to be up now. It's more like my anxiety kicks in, and if my anxiety doesn't get me, my cat does. My cat's like, we should be downstairs and you should be feeding me. Yeah. So why haven't you?
See, I don't have a cat.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's your problem.
Not a problem in my...
There's the reason why you can sleep in.
Yeah.
No, he woke me up at 4 as well last night. So, I was like, I stayed up late almost every night when I shouldn't have, because that makes it harder to get a full night's rest and catch up on your rest. But,
you also got some good naps.
Yes, but that throws me off and that I can't go to sleep at night. So a nap is a cursed blessing.
It is.
It really is. And so, yeah.
I took a nap on Sunday because I woke up earlier than I wanted to and was like, okay, I'm done for this part of the day, and went and took a nap. And,
So we're calling this our Thursday check-in to see what we have done, and it wasn't about like taking time off to accomplish things. It was taking time off to rest. So
she says that because I feel like I've accomplished nothing.
I'm trying to make her feel better. Because part of how I rest is I'm an anxious person, so I knit furiously. So whether that's true resting, I don't know. But accomplishment helps me feel better. So, so I have some random things to show off. But we always start with Liz so that I don't, take up the whole episode because life,
So, I doodled. And I did bring in my 2 doodles.
You brought in your doodles?
I brought in my doodles.
These look like placemats. Like mini placemats.
Mini placemats. Let go.
Oh, they're not in your book anymore? You took them out?
Oh, no. This is different book. This is not my,
Your book's trying to eat them, though.
Yeah, this one's stuck because I didn't pull it out. This is what I bought Saturday to make my I'm asleep for the rest of my life.
We have a few art supplies in the shop. They're not online. Contact us if you want them.
So Sunday into Monday I did this one. It's kind of, I don't know.
It's cool. You undersell yourself. These are really neat.
And then Monday and Tuesday I did this one and I colored it in. And
it looks really cool.
So I doodled. I pinned a dress, which is still just pinned, but I made crap tons of these, so now I am up to 8 per color.
Is this one smaller than the ones in the back?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just hanging.
It's just hanging at a weird angle?
Yeah.
I was like, that's going to be hard to attach them all together if they're different sizes.
No, they're all the same.
Okay.
They're all the same size. So
can you remind people what you're doing?
They are my pin loom squares that I am making for my brother-in-law's Christmas blanket.
Cool.
So, this weekend, before I started working on them this weekend, I had 7 red ones and maybe 1 or 2 white and blues, and now I have 8 of everything. So.
And how many do you think you're going to need?
About 60 of each, I think.
So he's going to have a mini tablecloth, or a mini placemat blanket.
Sure.
That's how my brain is processing it. I think it's the coolest thing ever. That's just how my brain is processing it. So
he's a big guy and doesn't like heavy or thicker stuff, and even knitting is thicker than the woven.
Yeah,
so
woven
I
is
decided to just weave them, and
that's really cool.
Really cool. So and then
we have 1 pin loom left in the shop. It is not online. I don't think it's been. No, it hasn't been. Okay.
And then
contact us.
I sat and pondered and pondered and pondered because I got new yarn, not from the shop.
It's from Yarn Baby, but it is not available in the
yeah.
shop. And it kind of matches my cardigan a little bit.
It does.
It coordinates with.
I might have bogarted what she had left, so sorry.
Why did you bogart it?
Because it was reds and grays and blacks.
Mm-hmm. What's the color name? Do you remember? I remember.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, yes. I remember.
It's all dark and broody. And so I'm starting a cardigan. It's
a garter cardigan.
Yeah, I'm doing my Il Grande Favorito pattern in garter. Yeah, except the sleeves won't be garter. They'll probably be Morse code. I'm not sure what I'll put in them, but they'll be.
You can bet it'll be yelling at someone.
Yeah. I mean, it's all dark and broody, so I'm happy. So Bernie was like, "Don't you have that yarn at the store?" And I'm like, "No." And Bernie's like, "I'm pretty sure I've seen that color at the store." And I'm like, "Maybe, but not this yarn."
I'm trying to remember if
reds and grays.
It has nothing to do with what she's talking about, so I'll be quiet.
We had this color in the hand paints. Not the same color, but there was more orange in the Cascade Heritage hand paints.
Oh, that was the smoky
back.
fire one. We also had a self-patterning sock yarn that you bogarted.
Yes.
That was the same colors.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So that was my
I'm trying to remember
weekend.
if we ever showed off my blocked pressed flowers. I can't remember when I finished blocking that. We're not gonna do that today because it's hanging under the register. it'd be if someone can tell us if I showed off the blocked version, not the unblocked version, then if I haven't, I will unhang it on Tuesday to show you all then. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No worries. That was my weekend.
Can you show people the pin loom a little bit? Like, so she's weaving across it, but maybe when you get across the row, that's the pin loom that made those squares.
Yep.
It's really kind of cool.
So
and
you
it comes
go
with instructions, right?
Yes. You go up and back and forth 3 times, and then you wind off yarn, and you cut it, and you thread your needle, and you start weaving in and out, and in and out, and up and down, and yeah.
Very cool.
So it's fun. I don't know. It takes me about 15 minutes uninterrupted to make a square.
Might do a little longer right now because we're filming.
Oh, it's going to take longer, right now. So, because, yeah.
Well, I worked on... Oh, I didn't put this one in the bag yet.
Oh, I did go shopping.
Okay, what kind of shopping did you do?
I went to my fabric store.
Uh-huh.
And I bought a pair of pants, a dress, a Christmas dress. And I'm not sure whether it's going to be a Halloween dress or just a regular dress. It has skulls and paisleys and stuff on it. And then I'm going to do the bodice is going to be crows.
That could work for Halloween or some other time.
Yeah. So the gal behind the counter was trying to get me to quilt. She's like, what do you do with all your dresses when you're done with them? And I'm like,
when are you done with your dresses?
I'm not really done with them. And she goes, oh, when you're done with them, you could cut them up and quilt with them.
But
she
mean
new.
Done like when they start falling apart or something?
I guess. And I'm like, one of the other girls who knows me and has known me the whole time I've been shopping there, she was like, yeah, I've been trying to get her to do that for years. It's not going to happen. So, man. But yeah. I was like, it's been a year. And they were like, yeah, we were just thinking about you. It's been a long time. And I'm like, you guys are closed the same time we're closed. Or, yeah, so.
I always tell her she could take time off and go,
Yeah.
Anyway. So I worked on 3 projects. And by the way, so I want to get stuff from the crawl up online. And if there's time today, we will talk about that towards the end. But one of them are these really cute little bags that Spunky Sheep's mom, Wendy, makes. It's a little backpack. And this one, I'm sorry, this one was super cute. I claimed it for myself. It's a little backpack with a flappy thing and a drawstring. And we have 4 others left in different prints. And I'll try to get them up online. I think they're adorable. But mine is holding some of my plans. My new thing, which I thought was in here, but it's right here. And my plans, for things that now that the crawl is over, I can start. But let me start with the older stuff that I tried to work on while we were gone. I didn't touch my pressed flowers cardigan at all last week because life was so crazy busy. And so it was here, right? Maybe a little here. And I set myself a goal the beginning of each day to try to get a row of flowers done. And on the cardigan, it's like this one where it's bottom up, so your row is from here all the way around to here. Do spin. It's the whole bottom, but you're working flat instead of in a circle. So it took a while, but I'm let me just get through one set of flowers, one band of flowers every day. And that basically got me to the 12.5 inches they want for dividing. I say sleeve separation, that's more of a top-down term, but dividing for the front and the back. So I can't put it on because I haven't gotten far enough to wear it. But once I got to dividing for the front and the back, and you're only working on one panel on the front after doing this really long row, it's going a lot faster. And I suddenly, yesterday, I only worked on this. I had 3 projects I was kind of focused on while we were gone. And this one, once I got to the divider point, I was like, what other projects? Let me keep going on this, because, oh my gosh.
It's faster now.
It feels faster now, even though all the parts will take the same amount of time. And the back and one side are all on a stitch holder now.
Yeah.
But, like, isn't that pretty?
It is.
So,
I like it.
Like, I was maybe here. Let's see. Yesterday was Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. Yeah. So, like, I got 4 sets of flowers done. I basically doubled the length of the flowers because 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then when I separated for the front and the back, divided for the front and the back, I've gotten this much done right here on the front.
Sweet.
And this I redid, like, I could be so much further, but I was, oh good, it's still here. I had this little bit left of this is my first skein of my Feederbrook Flashpoint, my Feederbrook Entropy DK Flashpoint. And Flashpoint now looks very different than this. Like, it's got some of the hot brights, but the muted teals in here are super bright teals in our most recent batch. So if you made the same thing I'm making, it won't look the same. But I was like, when I started this front panel, which again, if we think about it like this, let me try to wear this like a skirt.
Flashpoint.
It's much brighter now. So
much brighter.
This is the bottom of my cardigan, and this is the beginning of my top of my cardigan, right on this side. And I was like, here, let me do like 1 set of flowers, and then I will break this off and use what's left for the other side so it can kind of match. And I kept going, and then I realized after I rolled a little bit of one of my other remaining skeins. These are my 2 remaining skeins from a Frog project from February. This one is starting right about where the divider happened. So if I use this one for the other side, the front panels of this, they will be a little more dark and broody, but they should kind of match.
But dark and broody is fine.
Yeah, and then the fire band in the middle. I think I'm going to use this one for the back side, because whatever happens on the back, stays on the back at this point. This one is the one that doesn't quite match the other 2 for the shawl I was making, but I was like, so what? And I'm playing yarn chicken with the amount of old Flashpoint that I have versus what is needed according to my size in the pattern for this cardigan.
It's going to mean matching your sleeves is going to be difficult.
Matching my sleeves is probably going to be impossible, so I'm not going to try to do it. I was more concerned with what was right here versus what's on the sleeves. If the sleeves don't match, I'll get over it, personally. I would have gotten over the front matching, but then I saw a possibility to have it happen, and I was like, ooh. But if anyone else tries to do it, like, with whatever they buy, they probably can't. Because Feederbrook just doesn't tend to match like that. Like, the fractal spinning and the barber cord stuff, like, skein to skein, it's just different. So I am on my second. This is my third. I should only need 3 of the Alba because there's a lot more yardage on the Alba. But I'm into my second skein of Alba. I thought I would never get to this point, and then I just set myself some goals, which was awesome. So, of course, now that I hit this point, I'm like, oh, it's fun again. I want to spend all my time on it. But I was also trying to work on some other projects. And can you pass me my my sock thing? Because what I meant to do before we started filming is see if I was pretty sure. I'm having problems with having enough barber cords available to put things on holders.
Shock.
I was gonna finish. I was so close to finishing this pair of socks before the weekend. I'm like, I can finish my socks. And then I left this here at the end of a very long week. And I did not come back in for it. But I'm hoping I might have some more barber. Yes! I got some more barber cords. I ran out of barber cords at home. The reason I was hoping that, like, this is my most organizational spot, so that I left it at the shop was tough. I was hoping I would have barber cord available so I could potentially try on the other 2 things that are top down in a way. I decided to finally try to make some more progress on my Faye Summer top in the Jody Long, I'll get that later, The ball just fell down. The Jody Long Summer Delight. And believe it or not, I have made a lot of progress. This is like a really wide garment with bobbles and cables, and you're doing front and back now, all joined together.
You've over doubled what you had under the sleeve.
I know, but it's taking so long. I'm like, I wanted it. I tried to do a repeat of the pattern, didn't quite get through it every day, which has bobbles and cables in it and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to put this on a barber cord to see if I can try it on for y'all. I'm looking at, it's only been 20 minutes that we've been filming.
I was like, yeah.
I asked us to film early so that we wouldn't be necessarily running into. So I just stuck the barber cord, jammed it on the end of my needle, and now I'm gently sliding stuff off. I've had my barber cords come unattached more times than I want to mention lately, and I think it's because I'm yanking too hard on stuff. When I'm yanking too hard, pushing or pulling, there are ways to kind of get it back on the needle, but for someone who's not as experienced with stitches, that might be a panicky moment. So I find when you're pushing or pulling, always make sure you're holding the connection. If you're doing a lot of like yanking down here or pushing up from here, and then gently ease it over. I do love our barber cords. We still have plenty in stock. We did not sell out during the crawl, which was good. We're getting them from a U.S. distributor instead of directly from Finland, which saves us time but costs a little more. So if you go online and you notice the barber cords are a little pricier than they were before, it's that's we're paying for the convenience of getting them faster. But the awesome knitting barber in Finland is still getting paid. So, and I'm almost done already with all of these stitches. That's the genius I find of these barber cords when they work well and don't pop off. Sometimes the end might get a little splitty if you're using them a lot, and I just trim off like just the littlest bit of that so things don't catch. I've pulled it all the way through. I'm gonna take my thumbnail to kind of pop it off my knitting needle. I'm gonna hold the ends together and tie them in a little knot. Thing is, I want to do this with my other project too, which means getting this back on the needles and transferring it to the other one. I'd like to see how this is going. So this is the back and the front totally off my knitting needles, so I can, don't get stuck on there, I can try it on. Oh, look at that. It's like a little bralette.
You have gotten quite a bit done.
Yeah, I haven't showed this off on the show in a really long time. But yes, those of you who remember, like, it's going to have frilly sleeves. I don't know if I have enough of the right dye lot in stock. Like, I only have one more skein of this, and this much left.
But it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. We talked about how maybe the sleeves I would do in the other dye lot. I think I have to do several more repeats of this, and then it's to get to there's like, they wanted to do 5 or 6 repeats of all these bobbles and lace. I think I have 2. Or to your desired length. I have to decide if I'm comfortable with this as a crop, like not this cropped, but like, you know, if I want it longer, it's going to use up more yarn. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But this is fun. The bobbles are made with a crochet hook. The rest of it's knit. So there's a lot of fun intricacies to this. So it might not be for everybody. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, it's just like lots of ends. Okay. But it has been really fun, and I'm really looking forward to having it for the summer, which is why I tried to get back to it, right? So that was another thing I spent a lot of time on. And then I started a new project. Shocker. I'm going to see if while I talk, I have a couple of new projects. Well, more than a couple. But I brought home yarn for 2, and I started one. And I was kind of amazed with how fast it was going. Chantal, I forget her last name, but her screen name is Knititude. I find a lot of people, when they were coming in last week, they're like, yeah, I follow her on Instagram. I think she's really awesome and writes really nice patterns. And some of them are not super complicated patterns. So again, I've just stuck my barber cord on the tip of my knitting needle, and I am sliding my stitches around. And once they get close, I don't want to shove them on my knitting needle too fast or too hard, because then the barber cord can come off. But now I'm going to try sliding them back on while I chat with y'all. So Chantal recently posted, the Knititude recently posted about some summer tops, and one of them was called the Tea Time Tee, T-E-E, both times, as in like a golf tea time. Now, I don't golf, but it kind of looks like a golf polo, and I thought it looked really cute. I also could tell by looking at it, it wasn't super complicated construction. So it's kind of like a Henley top. Henley is where there's a split right here. And that's exactly what it is. It's kind of starting with a really straight across, but you're not connecting it here. You're going back and forth. So the top kind of folds over. Like,
there's lots of purling.
Until you join it together.
Yes.
Which you get to choose when you want the deep cut to stop. If you don't want it to show a lot of cleavage, you don't have to. Like, whenever you want to. She basically says whenever it's deep enough to your liking, you join it in the round. And it starts with a provisional cast on, and then later on, you go back and do an I-cord bind off across those top stitches to give it a little more of a good edge. And so when I was done with my first skein of yarn, I stopped knitting on the bottom, and I went and did, because it's a different needle size for the I-cord. Like, I'm knitting on a 7, and then the I-cord across the top was with an 8. So I went back and did that top edge. And I am past sleeve separation, because it was a straight knit. Yes, there was purling involved, but I was having a lot of fun with it. And I am almost back on. I spent some of last week debating what color to do this in. Hers is white, and that's a very classic, like, polo pullover. And I was like, I don't wear white, but if someone wants to make it in white, that would be lovely. Barber cord is free again. And so, and I pulled a short list, and most people in the shop picked some greens and some other colors. But what had really caught my eye at the beginning of this, trying to pull out a short list, based on what we had, and then one of our customers, Hannah, we love you, came and bought the same color for a top for herself. I think we have just enough for both of us to do our tops. This corally color caught my eye, because I was starting to make a lace top in this color, and I frogged it because the yarn is not being made anymore. So I still get a top in this really, really bright, lovely color. But it's like the division here will curl a little bit, but that's just what's going to happen. Like, when I block this, it might help a little, but the center part might curl a little. Like I said, I'm already at sleeve separation. And I kind of tried it on right after sleeve separation to make sure this would work, but y'all get to experience this with me to see how it's going. This much of my second skein, I think for my size, it's going to take 4 skeins of, I'm using Cascade Ultra Pima, which has 220 yards on it. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did. I'm going to stick the end of this tube on my needle and jam it on there, and start moving my stitches over. I've already done this with a different color barber cord for my sleeves. She had done hers in, is it called True Boo by Lion Brand? It's like, it's either 100% bamboo or it's a bamboo cotton blend. I forget which. But it's a DK, like, lightweight or plant fiber for summertime. And I was just like, we don't have, like, there were a couple other yarns I thought would be fantastic for this top, but we don't have a sample in Ultra Pima. It's one of our basics, but we don't have a sample for it. So
look at you working on samples out of our basics.
Well,
you did a Cascade 220 superwash baby blanket, and now you're doing the...
Well, there are staples. I can't always knit with the fancy stuff, and neither can our customers. I totally get that.
Well, you tried for like 5.5 years.
Not really. I still do things out of the nice stuff, right?
She does.
So, I got to give people aspirational hopes. or just show what's possible with the nice stuff too. But I'm making a flax with the Encore. That's on the back burner right now while I do some summer tops. But I just slid all my stitches off so I can try this on for y'all. I think this is going to be a super cute basic. Like, it's good mindless knitting now that I'm on the torso. And I was hoping I could get even more of it done. Whoop, there's an end of my yarn. But I decided to do 8 inches like she did, even though she did a smaller size, because I didn't necessarily want to expose too much cleavage. That's a little deep. That's a little deep. We'll see. I also could wear it over like a tank top. And
you could sew it up a little bit if you...
Yeah, if I wasn't happy with it. Like, at this point, I'm far enough past... I like how it's coming out. But I'm far enough past that spot that there's no scrap yarn there. I'd have to use extra scrap yarn because I just joined it in the round. But it's supposed to... My hair's now long enough that it kind of is hiding. It's supposed to, like, just do a little boop there. To, like, so it looks like you have a collar. I think that's super cute. It's raglan sleeve. And yeah, I think this is going to be really super cute when it's done. And you know me, like I like hand knits, I don't tend to wear on their own. I tend to wear them over a t-shirt, or I could wear this over a tank top or a camisole, something like that. Or I could see if I am okay with showing a little cleavage. Oh. But I think this will actually have a nice tailored, like, it's just straight knitting right now, but I think the Ultra Pima will have a nice drape to it. I was really surprised to get gauge, or close enough to gauge, on the needles it was written for, on the 7s, that I just went ahead and did it. So, what?
It'll look really cute over your khaki capris to go play golf.
I'm not a golfer, but I'm not knocking golfers either. Though.
No.
You know,
no.
Like, my ex-husband tried to get me to play golf. This is not the most recent ex. And bought me a left-handed set of golf clubs and everything. I think I sold those before I moved south. So, but yeah, I think this would look really cute. Like, if I pull this up, I think this would look really cute in a whole lot of colors. And someone smaller than me, it's only going to take maybe 3 skeins. We'll see. I'd love to bust this out and then just wear it, you know, with a cami or something. I think I need some new camis, though. Don't know if I have camis that fit.
Fortunately, you can get them for fairly...
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's figuring out what size I am now. It's all good. That's a whole nother story. So, all right. I have plans. I'm not going to bother putting on some needles. What?
I need to go pack packages. Or at least go
Do you want to just go off screen? Because I want to tell a story.
I am going to go off screen.
Really? Are you that anxious?
We have a stack.
Can you give me 5 minutes?
I'm not going to get through them all before we open the shop.
I'm aware of that. I will help. I'm usually the anxious one. This is kind of funny.
No. We were going to start filming early so that I could go do this. Yeah. And we started filming early, and now we film for how long?
I can't wait on this story, though.
We'll tell your story. I can listen while
it's almost a week old, and I'm going to forget it if I wait any longer.
I will listen while...
Oh, she's so anxious. It's so cute. Okay, you are dismissed. Okay, if anyone's upset that Liz left,
I'll swish in and out. Don't worry.
Then you can yell at her in the comments. So I left Saturday when the crawl was over, and we were both exhausted, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to just go home and collapse. And I heated up my leftovers for dinner. This is so awkward when I can't bounce looks off of Liz. But I heated up my leftovers for dinner, and I sat down, and then I heard this buzzing noise. And it was like, it wasn't just like buzzing like a bumblebee outside. This was like a whole flock of bees. She's rustling with bags over there. Sorry. I will try to keep my focus. It was like a whole flock of bees was in my house. And I look up, And up in the loft, I see, like, I'm like, it's a hornet. Like, because I was looking up later, like, how you know it's a hornet and not just a wasp. And one of the things is size. And I'm sorry. And the other thing is how much noise they make. I've only dealt with one hornet in my house before.
And that was about a year ago.
Yeah, and so when that happened, and I didn't and I told you all the story on the sideshow about that, I went out and bought bug spray for it. And so I'm like, I'm prepared. I could deal with this. And I went and got the can, and I hadn't paid attention when I bought it. So the can said for outside use only, and it was to kill the nest, not for use in the house. And it's supposed to be toxic to animals and everything else. And I'm like, I can't use this on this thing. Like, it's going to be bad for my cat. It's going to be bad for me. There's no ventilation. And as I'm looking at this, trying to figure out, he was already up high, and he kind of went into a hole that's in the ceiling. And I was like, maybe he's gone. Okay, good. And then, like, an hour or two later, like, I heard the buzzing again. And I could and then I lost track of him. And I was texting with friends. I was texting with Liz. I was texting with my friend Amy D. And Amy D said that she dealt with several in her house so far. I'm trying to figure out if I can use, like, my, the broom I used last time. And then Amy's like, I used my little racket thing, my electric racket, to deal with it. And I remembered, this is where the prop comes back in. I'm not going to actually, like, use it and hit anything with it, but I remembered that Liz had given me this. It was still in its packaging in the family room. Like, I had never even taken out of its packaging. And I think, Liz, you were the one who was like, go charge it now.
Yeah.
And so I plugged it in to charge it because it wasn't even charged. And as I was getting ready for, I was finally like, I think I'm going to go to bed. I hadn't heard it in a while. I'd heard some buzzing, and then it had stopped. And so I was like, maybe it has exhausted itself, and it's somewhere in the loft. It had not come downstairs. The last one came downstairs, and I was, like, terrified about where it was. I didn't think it left the loft upstairs space. It's a big open floor plan, right? But I didn't know where it was. I hadn't heard it in a while. So, so this thing you turn it on, and you push this button, and then you can whack stuff. And Amy was like, if you trap it, like, usually it's just trying to get out. If you trap it between a wall or a window or something. And I was like, okay. And so there also is, let me see. There we go. When it's truly on, there's a light too. So off, on. So I went upstairs with the light on, like it's this blue light, because what happened last time I had a wasp, I was like, or a hornet, I was like, maybe I can go to sleep and deal with it in the morning. But last time, I think the hornet came into my bedroom because it was the only thing that had light, and it wasn't this, it was a yellow light, so it was like looking for a way out, right? And so I had this little blue light on, and I'm shining it around, and I'd been up a couple times to try to find it. Hadn't seen it. I thought it was close to where I was standing, I was terrified and ran back downstairs before this was charged. I went upstairs, and I look around, and I'm using the blue light to look in my bedroom, and I'm not seeing anything, and I'm like, let me check the bathroom before I go in. Because the vent where I'd seen it was just over the bathroom, and the hole in the ceiling was not far away from the bathroom. But I'm like, I think it's over in the loft, but what if it's in the bathroom? And I'm shining the light in the bathroom, and I see movement in the sink, which is right by the bathroom door. And I kind of peer over, and it's there, and I'm like, like, I felt adrenaline like I have never felt, or only a few times in my entire life felt. Like it was kind of terrifying. And the reason it was so terrifying, it's not that a hornet is, like, gonna terrify me to the point of death, but maybe, but it was realizing that it was in the sink, which has curved surfaces, and this wasn't going to hit it. Like, I was just knowing. I was like, this is not going to be as easy as it sounds. I had it on, I was ready to go, but like, what if I hit it and it hit the edge, and I'm going to make sure that it's off now so I don't hit myself. It is off now. Yeah, no light. Okay. What if I smack it and I trap it between the edge of the sink, but the metal part doesn't hit it? Like, I don't like killing things to begin with, but this thing was like, it was like this big. It was like, they talk about the hornets are like an inch or so, or an inch and a half, and the queens, and I'm like, this is a freaking queen. Excuse my language. It's still bordering on not family friendly, right? So I tried to, and I don't feel like this is putting that much distance between me and this hornet. And so I go in and like, a battle ensued. I don't really think the hornet was fighting back much at all. I was battling my sink, trying to like whack it, and like sparks were hitting every time it hit like the metal drain stopper in the center. There were sparks. I'm pretty sure. And that, like, as I hit him and wounded him, then he fell into the little crevice between the sink and the stopper, and like, it was so much harder than it should have been. And I don't think my cat witnessed any of it, but he's a little scared of this thing, even though he didn't see any of it.
Your cat did watch you beat the last one to death with a broom.
That's true. Or almost to death. Like, and this was like almost, like he curled up a little bit, but I couldn't tell if he was really, and like I whacked him again, and finally like I kind of scooped him out of the sink and whacked him flat like I'm supposed to, and he stuck to this, and then I flushed him. He might have been twitching. I don't know if they were like afterlife twitches or not. And like, I flushed him. I wasn't sure he was going to go down, she, because she was so big. So big.
The last one she wouldn't flush because she was scared it was going to come back up.
Well, okay.
So I'm proud of you this time.
I flushed it. I flushed again just to make sure it'd gone down.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I was telling my parents this. Let me tell you, the first time I used the facilities up there, after this, I did not sit all the way down because I was still worried it was going to come back up and get me.
The ghost of Waspy Pat.
It was just like, I had the song Earl Had to Die. I think I've named this hornet Earl because I was just, it was an all-out battle, and I persevered, but there was no way I was catching this thing and taking it outside. It was just like, it was huge. And I pray for its soul and everything. Been watching a lot of Father Brown lately, so but I'm glad I found it. Like, in some ways it was terrifying for it to be in the sink, but in another way, like, to have found it before I went to bed was in some ways soothing. It was a whole thing, though. It was like, I did not go home and relax after the crawl. I did battle. I will take this back home now. This is always within reach now, just in case. So, or I try to, at least upstairs. Yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And I can't remember if anything else fun and crazy happened over the break, because that, like, took all of my energy. I pretty much stayed home. I went on some walks, and my legs are killing me. And we should wrap up so I can go help Liz or figure out what I'm doing about this now that I can't find all the cords to process this video. I'm going to rebuild some stuff. Couple of things to announce is we are going back to Sit and Stitch finally. We're going to have Sit and Stitch on tomorrow night. Friday night is going to be our first Sit and Stitch since before the crawl, because we've been taking time off. It's going to be on Zoom from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can get in with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
Oh, good. She could do that for me. And another thing is, when I checked this morning, we were at 1,498 subscribers. Ooh. We have promised y'all a sale when we hit 1,500 subscribers, and when it holds, because it wobbles sometimes and dips down back under and stuff like that. But that could be as early as next week, especially if you have not subscribed yet. Please consider subscribing. It's free to do. Subscribe to the channel. I am looking into options for either memberships or subscriptions over on Patreon that would involve some ways to like connect and build the community and give you more access to at least me, if not us, I'm trying to put together a survey. I put one up on Patreon, but sometimes if you don't have a membership over there, and some people don't want to log in just yet if they don't have a reason to subscribe, I'm going to try to have a Google survey about what would you pay a monthly fee for, to say have like a help time, like hangout and help time, or do virtual lessons, that kind of thing. We haven't done virtual lessons for a while, but with subscriptions, I think we could. So I'm looking to options for that. So that's my business spiel at the end of all this. I'm going to go help Liz pull some orders. And that was my racket. We'll talk to y'all next week. We'll see what I can get done over the weekend on some of these. I think it'll be really fun. So we have so much to do today. I want to get a lot of things, like we had this little dragon cowl with beads that one of our indie dyers brought in, and I was like, I'll make a kit. I'll make one out of one that I have the most of, because I bought her kits off of her. It's got beads, it's got the clasp. I'm going to put this up online. However, I have an equal amount of all of them. We've got green, we've got teal, and we've got purple. Which one should I make a sample for the shop out of? What do you think? Let me know if you've watched this far. Let me know what you think in the comments. So, were you coming over so you could wish everyone bye-bye? And then I started talking about something else. I'm done. Come say bye.
I gotta go dump out a bin after this to find a third one.
Let's just wave and say bye. Bye! We'll see you on Tuesday. Come to the virtual sit and stitch.